Hey, what's up, guys? This is Evan, also known as AT coming at you today with my 300 subscribers Q&A answers video. Um, First of all, thank you guys once again for helping me reach 300 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. I never thought I'd make it to this point, so thank you guys so much. And secondly, thank you guys so much for all of the questions you submitted. I got a ton of them, and just want to let you know this is going to be a long video. So what I've done for you guys is in the description of below, make sure you guys click show more because I have all the timestamps of all the channels in the order that I commented or answered the questions on. So make sure you guys look in the description and check the timestamp so you know exactly when I answered your question, so you don't have to scrub through a 30-minute video. So before we get started, I just want to apologize for my stuffy nose. I have like a little cold or allergies, so my apologies about that. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started with the Q&A. So I am going to give a shout out to all the channels that commented and stuff like that. So Aviation Channel 2010 says, my sincere congratulations on 300 subscribers. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So then the first question comes from JJW AntiguaAviation. He says, congratulations on 300 subs. And his question is, will you ever start an international route with an aircraft in Terminal B? It is possible. There might be an international route that might start maybe to like a Caribbean destination or somewhere where a narrow body aircraft could handle it. Nothing. I wouldn't do any international routes on a wide body because I would have to make room for it. If I did do international routes on a wide body, they would probably go in like another terminal, like a Terminal C in the future with other international carriers. So, second question is, have you ever thought about adding gates and vehicles to the airport? Actually, I have thought about doing that. First of all, the problems with gates is GeminiJets does not make scale 1 to 200 gates, and there are some out there, but you have to build them, and they're very time consuming, and with my crazy schedule, I really don't have a whole lot of time to do that. So maybe in the future, if GeminiJets releases 1 to 200 gates at a reasonable price, I will probably consider them. And as for like GSE or like vehicles, that is something I want to do, but they're a little pricey for me right now. And I rather kind of just continue to collect models, but it is something I want to do. But like I said, the problem with it is the price because I would need a lot of them. So thank you for your questions. And the Jet Age says congrats on reaching 300 subscribers. So thank you so much. The next question is ProFlight22 HD. His first question is, what is your favorite British/Irish airline? My favorite British airline is, of course, British Airways, and my favorite Irish airline is Aer Lingus. Second question is, what is your least favorite model? My least favorite model is probably the Spirit A319 because it's just been giving me a lot of problems, like landing gear problems. Like when I move it around, they always fall off. So other than that, I like all my models. They're all unique and I really enjoy them. So there's no really model I don't like. So yeah, so that would be my answer for that. So thank you so much for your question. All right, the next question comes from AS Aviation and Rail Productions 2016. He says, congrats on 300. I have a few questions, and his first one is, what is your favorite aircraft? Favorite aircraft is the 737-900ER. Favorite livery and aircraft, in your opinion, is the coolest one to spot? Favorite aircraft is definitely the A380 because it's just such a massive plane to see, and it's just really amazing just to watch it, taxi, take off, or land. It's pretty cool. Airline livery, I would actually say Frontier because I enjoy seeing like the different animals on their tail. I think it's a creative livery. So yeah, I enjoy spotting Frontier's livery. So thank you for your question. Next questions comes from KTMVT2. Sorry if I mispronounce any names or stuff like that. He says congrats, and his first question is, what is your favorite aircraft? Like I said above, the 737-900ER. Favorite airline, of course, is Delta. Favorite model out of the ones I have. My favorite model is probably the US Airways A320, and the reason is because that's the exact model replica of the one that crashed in the Hudson back in 2009. And I think that moment, as terrible as it was, it's a huge mark in the aviation history. And I just really like that model. And also, that was my first model, so that's why I really like that one. So thank you for your question. Next question comes from NYC Jacob 2002, and he says, what are your plans after you graduate high school, go to college with your pilot's license? Would you want to fly for a major airline, Delta or American, maybe Southwest, or would you want to fly corporate for NetJets or something like that? So my plan is I really want to graduate high school with my private pilot's license. I'm currently working on getting my solo pilot's license, so I'm hoping to have that in a few months. I'm currently working on that with my instructor. And yeah, I want to just go to college and work on getting my hours and go to school, obviously, and then to get out of college, you know, I don't know where my life's going to take me, if I'm going to end up going through the Air Force, or if I'm going to start off small, flying corporate for NetJets, for example, or even jump right into cargo. But my main goal is to fly commercially for Delta Airlines, so that is something I really want to do, but I know that it's going to take years to do that. So thank you for your question. Next question comes from Aviation 18, and he says, what was the first plane you ever went on? And congrats. First plane I ever went on was the 737-500. I flew Continental Airlines from Newark to, it's probably like Orlando or something, because I went to Disney World. I was like 2 years old, or 1 or 2 years old at the time. So yeah, that was my first airline experience. So thank you for your question. The next question comes from TheYottaTube, and he says, a lot of airlines ceased operation or were taken over. Which airline do you miss the most and why? So I think I have two of them, and the first one stems from the last question, is definitely Continental Airlines. I think they were a really good airline. I flew them a lot because I used to live in New Jersey, and we would fly out of Newark. Frequently, and they were the airline. That was their hub, so that was what we flew. And the second airline was Pan Am. Even though I never flown them before, and obviously they ceased operations many years ago, I think they were such a cool airline, and considering they started the 747, you know, they wanted that aircraft and stuff. I think that would have been another cool airline I would miss, even though I never flew them. All right, so the next question, so thanks for your question. The next question comes from TheHDAviation. He says, big congrats on hitting 300 subscribers. And his question is, what is your favorite aircraft you have ever flown on? So my favorite aircraft that I've flown on is obviously the 737-900ER. I love that plane, especially with the split scimitar winglets. So thank you for your question. Next question comes from Southwest 1761, and he says, which do you like better, Boeing or Airbus? I might get hate from this, but it's not that I hate the other one, it's that I don't prefer them. I prefer Boeing, but I don't prefer Airbus. So I don't mind Airbus, but it's just I prefer Boeing, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I like Boeing more than I like Airbus, but I still respect Airbus, and I think they're a great aircraft manufacturer. So thank you for your question. The next question comes from LHR Spotter, and his question is, what's your favorite 1 to 400 model? I don't have any 1 to 400 models in my collection, but if I did have one that I just like, you know, when I've seen GeminiJets release, it's definitely the Virgin Atlantic 787-900. Such a beautiful plane. I'd love to have that in my collection, and you know, whether 1 to 400 or 1 to 200. So thank you for your question. Next one comes from Alex Kosh. Sorry if I mispronounced that. His question is, why is the MSP flight from your model airport an MD-90 and try to mix up the flights? Yes, I do realize that. It is something I have actually been working on for the past 2 months. I've been working on creating new flight schedules and stuff like that. It's on the MD-90 just because that's the one I put it on and I scheduled it on. And I'm working on mixing that up. So that's something that might happen by the end of this month if I get it done in time. And the other reason is because I have a lot of other flights going out to other destinations, and I don't have a ton of models to like constantly switch out flights on different aircraft. So that's why. But yes, thank you for your feedback, and I will it's something I've been working on. I'm trying to mix the flights up, so for you guys to make my airport updates interesting and fun for you guys. So thank you for your question. Next question comes from Phoenix Model 73, and he says, if you were a pilot and could choose any airline to fly with, who would you choose? Now, that's a broad question, but I think I'm still going to stick with Delta just because I like them. But if I ever had the option to fly for any airline, I might choose either British Airways or Emirates. I think they have a cool. I like how their companies are run and stuff like that. So thank you for your question. The next question comes from RowGuy26, and he says, "What got you into collecting 1 to 200 models?" Oh, by the way, these are good questions, guys. Thank you so much for all your questions. We have some really good ones. So, yeah, going back to that, what got you into collecting 1 to 200 scale models? And so what happened was a few years ago, back in like 2012, I started getting into models and stuff like that, and I first bought off Amazon a US Airways CRJ 700, which was a huge mistake because I bought it in 1 to 400, and when I got it, the plane was like the size of my pointer finger, which was crazy, and I was like, this is just way too small. So then I switched and I got another model, which was the US Airways A320, and that model was like a nice size and I really liked it. Now, if I never bought a CRJ 900 and say I bought a 737 700, for example, in 1 to 400, I might have liked it a little bit more because it would have been a little bigger, and maybe I would have started collecting 1 to 400. So yeah, it was really size that kind of turned me away from it. But I think if I got a bigger aircraft in general, I might have liked 1 to 400 a little more. Next question is, when will you do your next ATL plane spotting videos? And he says he loves those, so thank you so much. I'm glad you like them. I'm hoping to get down there in September. The problem with that is that I live a good hour away from the airport, and then it's another hour to get home. So it's not the most convenient thing for me to do. But it is something I want to do more, and it does suck because there's times where we'll fly out of Atlanta to go travel and stuff, and it's hard to spot the morning of the flight or after we land, just because all the stuff all the hassle you have to go through getting through the airport, and then when you land, you have to everybody's anxious to get home. So I do want to do it more. So I'm hoping in September I will get back to that. And his third question is, do you work a job to get the models? Currently I don't. I don't have a job, but it is something I'm working on to maybe possibly get more models in the future, and also for my flight training. But the models, I really get them from a lot of them are gifts actually for like birthday and Christmas and other special occasions. And if I ever get money from birthday, Christmas, or any occasion, I sometimes put it towards getting models. And even though it seems like I have a lot, it's taken years to accumulate them and stuff like that. So yep, hope you like the answers. So thank you for your question. The next question comes from the Dutch Aviator, and he asked, how did you get interested in aviation? So I got interested in aviation probably when I was between the ages of 9 and 11. And what it was is I would do a lot of flights from Raleigh, Durham to Philadelphia to go up to New Jersey to visit family and such. And it always amazed me, how planes work and how they fly and how they can do all this crazy stuff. And, whenever I got into, whenever I boarded the plane, I would always see the cockpit, and it would just amaze me of all the buttons and switches and stuff like that. And I just wanted to learn more, and I wanted to check it out and see what it's all about. So, and that's how I got started with it. And then I just started growing. I started collecting bottles, and then I started actually taking flying lessons. So, his second question is, what is your favorite special livery? My favorite special livery is probably the Delta breast cancer livery, and also the ANA Star Wars aircraft. So I think those are really cool and highly detailed. And I also like all the Southwest special livery ones. Those are cool as well. Third question, is there any airport that you would like to visit in the future? Yeah, I'll kind of give you a quick list of different airports in different parts of the world. So for the United States, it's definitely Los Angeles. I've never been there, and I love to see that airport. Europe would probably be London Heathrow, of course. Middle East, in that area, probably Dubai. Um, for like Asia, it would be Hong Kong, and for like Australia, definitely Sydney. So those are my top airports that I would love to visit in the future. So thank you so much for your question. Next question comes from AClove or AClove. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He asks, "Do you have an Air Canada plane?" I do have an Air Canada plane. It is the Embraer 190. Love that model. So thank you so much for your question. Next question comes from 99 Carnot, and he says, "Congratulations over 300 subs. It's really good to see your excellent channel grow. How'd you get interested in aviation? What is your favorite aviation book?" Like I said, I got interested in aviation from flying a lot, and I did answer that question above. No problem about that. That's fine. But like I said, I got interested in aviation from flying, and it just really amazed me, like how planes fly and stuff. So, yeah. And what is your favorite aviation book? I really don't know. I haven't read a whole lot of them. I'll always watched videos about aviation, but it is something I want to take a look at into more about looking at other aviation books and stuff. But I have seen like documentaries about like Amelia Earhart and stuff like that. But maybe perhaps there's like a book for that would interest me. So yeah, I'll have to take a look at those. So thank you so much for your question. Next question comes from SASOW Productions, and he says, out of all the new airliner aircrafts that will be out in the next 5 to 10, I'm guessing you mean 5 to 10 years, which one are you looking forward to the most and why? I got a list of those. Definitely the Bombardier CS100. Now that Delta has bought those, I'm interested to see how they're gonna. I know they're gonna be replacing MD-88s and such, but I'm interested to see how the aircraft operates and fly it for the first time. Whether passenger or pilot in command. I think it'd be interesting to see how that plane flies, and yeah, it's just interesting to see Bombardier starting to come out of the hole and produce more aircrafts and such. The next one is definitely the 737-800 MAX. I can't wait to see that one when Southwest takes deliveries of those. I think that's going to be a good model, a good aircraft for future airlines and such. And then the other one is definitely the 777-900/800X. I think that's going to be a really good competitor to some of Airbus's aircrafts and stuff. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Boeing and Bombardier have to, what they're going to do with their aircrafts in the future. So, thank you for your question. Next question comes from DJ's Aviation. He says, "What is your ultimate goal with YouTube? Is it views, subs?" My ultimate goal with YouTube is just to build an aviation community, and I'm really happy how it's grown so much without you guys. I couldn't have said this. Yeah, it's just to build this aviation community, and whether that's through views or subscribers, that makes me happy, and I'm just happy to see my channel grow and to extend into the aviation community. So yeah, my ultimate goal is to just grow this channel for a aviation community. His next question is, if there was one plane that you could bring to your airport, which one would it be and why? Definitely the A380, just because of its mass size, and I think it would be a nice aircraft to bring in. Because I have a good amount of aircrafts, and some of the aircrafts, A, haven't been released by GeminiJets, and B, are still like in production and still are new aircrafts and stuff like that. So definitely the A380. So thank you so much for your question. I already answered this question because there's two of them. So the next question comes from GeminiJetsJAYXXX. Sorry if I mispronounced these names. His first question is, what model would you like to see GeminiJets make? That's a tough one because GeminiJets has made a lot of them. I don't know. Maybe the 767-400. I have seen GeminiJets comment on someone who requested that, and they said they just don't have the molds for it, and they wouldn't make money off of it. But maybe that one, because I think that's a cool aircraft. And also the 717. I would like to see the mold for that for 1 to 200. I know they released it in 1 to 400, but not 1 to 200. Second question, what is the saddest moment you've ever had? I really don't know. Saddest moment, probably. I have a few. Probably like when my great grandmother passed away. That was pretty sad. Also, when I moved from North Carolina to Georgia, because I left a lot of good friends behind. But I think if my family never made that move, I really can't say if I would be where I am today with YouTube, with my aviation career and school and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really it. Third question is, what was your worst experience on any airline you've been in? Worst experience, I think it was on American, actually. I know I've grown to actually like American nowadays, but it's a couple years ago. I was flying to Dallas Fort Worth, and the flight attendant was just extremely rude to me. And yeah, it was just not that fun. All right, the next question is, what's your favorite snack? Well, when I'm flying, my favorite snack is probably pretzels. I enjoy having those, or like those biscotti cookies. Those are really good too. The fifth question is, what country would you like to visit on your favorite airline? Country I'd like to visit, definitely Italy. That's definitely possibly on Delta. That would be awesome, but you know, whatever is whatever. I'm happy with any airline. So yeah, definitely Italy. So thank you for your questions. The next question comes from Aviation Hamburg, and his question is, what is your favorite plane? And that's the 737-900ER. So thank you for your question. The next questions come from David AeroSpotting, and he says, what is your favorite aircraft and airline? Favorite airline is Delta, and aircraft is the 737-900ER. That's been a popular question, so thank you guys. Second question is, when do you plane spot at your airport? I think I said this, I mentioned this earlier, but it is like an hour away to get to the airport. I don't exactly live close to here to Atlanta Airport. But like I said, I'm hoping to go in September to spot. So yeah, but I like to do it more often. So yeah, look out for it in September. I'm hoping to do it then. And his third question is, do you have plans to travel to Europe? I would love to travel to Europe. It's just, you know, whenever we get, you know, good deals or want to go there or stuff like that. But yeah, definitely want to go there. Definitely want to go to like Italy and Great Britain and also like France and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to go to Europe. So thank you for your questions. William B161 says, amazing video and congrats on 300 subscribers. Let's see. Heathrow Aviation asked, how many models do I have? And I believe I have. Let's see. I'm thinking. I think it's like 39. Yeah. Or 38. Yep, 39 or 38 models. So, yep. Thank you for your question. Next question comes from GeminiJets30. He says, what is your favorite airline? Favorite airline is Delta. What is your favorite model? Favorite model is probably the US Airways A320, just because of crashing the Hudson, and also that was my very first model, so it was really cool. Third question is, what's your favorite airport? It's a good one. I'll kind of give you like my top five. Top five favorite airports. Number one is definitely Atlanta. Two is probably Boston. Three is probably Philadelphia. Four is probably Raleigh, Durham. And five is probably Montego Bay, Jamaica. Those are some really cool airports. And the fourth question, what's the coolest place you've been? Coolest place I've been is Montego Bay, Jamaica. That's a beautiful area. I had a lot of fun there. His fifth question is, what's your least favorite airline? My least favorite airlines, I'll go with U.S. Airlines for now. My least favorite U.S. airline is probably United. Yeah, I don't really like them. Even though I love Continental, I don't really prefer United. I've had some bad experiences with them. So, and the sixth and final question is, why did you choose 1 to 200 as your scale for your airport? And I think I mentioned this earlier. It's just because, you know, when I first started collecting 1 to 400, I got a CRJ 700 and it was really small. So yeah, it was really just the size of them that really I wanted to collect 1 to 200 because they were bigger. So yeah, I just prefer the size of 1 to 200. So thank you for your questions. Heathrow Flyer asks if you could fly with any airline, which one would you choose? If I could fly with any airline, probably choose maybe Emirates. I think that would be a really fun airline to fly in their A380. Yeah, that would be really cool. And then the last question's from Keyshawn. I hope I'm saying that right. His first question is, what is your favorite U.S. airline, European airline, and Asian airline? Favorite U.S. airline is Delta. Favorite European airline is British Airways. And favorite Asian airline, it'd probably either be Korean Air or Cathay Pacific. And the second question is, what is your favorite airport in Texas and Florida? Favorite airport in Texas is probably Dallas, Fort Worth. That's such a cool airport. It's huge. It's really cool. And in Florida, Orlando. That's another awesome airport. So thank you for your questions. So that just about wraps up the Q&A answers video. Once again, thank you guys so much for all these questions. I really appreciate it. And I'm happy to answer them. So thank you so much. Just like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, make sure you check the description so you guys can find the timestamp for when I answer your question, because I know this is probably going to be at least a 30-minute video because there's a lot of questions. So I really appreciate that, guys. So thank you so much. That is pretty much it. One more thing before I go. Look out around the middle of the month. I'm probably going to be putting out a special video about my new series called Model of the Month. So look out for a video in the middle of the month for more details about that. And I hope you guys enjoy that. As usual, airport updates goes out at the end of the month. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you check out my social media. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out. Here's our last new model, the beautiful Delta A319. He's going to be heading out to Austin, Texas.